Hello, my name is Fidelis. Welcome to my channel. Today I actually wanted to talk about self-discipline. Not couples discipline, not church discipline, not parent discipline, self-discipline. And you're in charge of it. I actually wanted to bring to your attention how much you've neglected that. Self-discipline is the ability to control your own feelings and overcome your own personal weaknesses. So most people do not realize this, but the difference between regret and success is often the choices that we make. So next time you're faced with a choice, a decision to make, you have to ask yourself, am I giving in to the instant gratification that this gives me? Does this immediately make me comfortable, make me happy, make me feel safe? Or is there another option here that could probably get me very uncomfortable, feel very uneasy, and probably feel like I'm not equipped to deal with this? And in 5 years to come, what's going to matter? Be as simple as ice cream. So if my goal is to lose weight, then I need to be more disciplined with what I eat. And so when someone offers me ice cream, then immediately I have to ask myself, am I giving in to the instant gratification that this is going to give me? Because instantly, the moment I eat this ice cream, it's delicious, it's good, it makes me feel good. Okay? But in the long run, is this less calories? Is this going to mean a healthier me? Because one ice cream today doesn't make a huge difference, and then tomorrow it's going to be a new day and I'll say one ice cream today doesn't make a huge difference, and then the third day one ice cream today doesn't make a huge difference. But guess what? If you were to combine all that within a 7-week period, that's a lot. That makes a huge difference. My rule of thumb is, if a choice feels safe, easy, comfortable, chances are high it's not the right choice. But if you do it knowing that it's not the right choice, well, I guess that's half the credit. Because when stuff start crumbling, then you're like, you know what, I saw this coming, I ignored it, but now I am forced to face with the consequences of it. Lucky for us, life gives us many choices to make every single day. To be honest, life is going to move on anyway, regardless of what decision you make. But I'm here to tell you, you can be more conscious with the decisions you take every day. But remember, making a choice is one thing. Sticking by that choice is a whole different ballgame. But the fact that you're here listening to this tells me that you're at least interested in learning how self-discipline works. On a personal level, when I'm met with hard choices, I feel a piece of me, an aspect of myself get activated. Very joyous, very excited. Why? Because it is at that moment that I realize that just like my kids play all these games on their tablets, that this problem having presented itself in my life at this very moment means that I am ready to unlock a different level in this game of life. And the level that gets activated by me going through this problem is determined by me. It's determined by my self-discipline. But remember, you can level up or level down. You could be doing so bad that you have to repeat it. You could be doing so good that you go to the next level. I feel that joy deeply and secretly because I have learned from the life that I've lived that every time I go through a difficult situation, on the other side comes success, comes God's glory, comes the lesson that I learned. Through this, we've all survived our own lives. We all have 24 hours in a day, but you can use that 24 hours in a day wisely. So how about you set a goal and say, in 1 year, I want to have 4 million in my account. Just sitting. What you do every day can determine whether you get to that 4 million within 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, a year, or even 5 years. And for others, 30. Because your self-discipline determines a lot. So it's very important for us to understand how self-discipline works. Because with self-discipline, you can come from nothing to so much, or from so much to nothing. So an example, if your goal is to lose weight, remember 80% of the results is brought about by 20% of the efforts that you put in. Start automating your behavior. So in the past, if someone came up to me like, Fidelis, you want a chocolate? Sure, I eat it. I was in high school. We rarely got goodies, and I call those goodies, and it was good having some sugar in my mouth. Anything other than githeri tasted good. So at that point, you could have given me a rock covered in blue band, I would probably have eaten it. But the Fidelis that I am now, bring me a chocolate and I'll tell you, oh, I'll take it, I'll put it in my bag. I don't eat them. But whenever I come across someone who's going to enjoy it, I regift it. So learn to automate. And I'm not saying that chocolate is bad, it's just a personal choice for me. Because self-discipline can really get you to where you want to be. And lack of self-discipline can really get you back to a place you really do not want to be. You're where you are because of the struggles that life has put in your path. With each struggle, a new version of you gets born. That new version of you is equipped to deal with the same struggle and get over it, as well as teach others to go through the same struggle gracefully. Because you've been on the other side and you came out the other side nice and clean and clear. I like to look at struggles like I would a tunnel. So an example, let's say this is you and someone breaks your heart. I'm not saying that this is where broken hearts go, okay? So your heart is broken and this is where they go, okay? And you're there. And you stay there for a while, and that's what you would call, oh, I was going through a really rough time and I felt so alone and blah 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 blah. And then you meet someone new and you're out. Now this is different. It's different because it went through this, and just going through this makes this qualified to talk about this. So when you find this, going through that, and then this comes out and says, hi guys, I have something to tell you. Doesn't it make sense to listen? Ever heard that experience is the best teacher? But do you want to experience everything, or can you at least learn from other people's experiences? I try to learn from people's experiences as much as I can, because I know I don't want to go through everything. But I know that everything is supposed to help me grow. So instead of situations meeting me, I would rather find people who've gone through certain situations and listen to how they handled it, because that creates an awareness in my mind that, okay, this is how this is meant to be handled. And this might be gibberish to a lot of you, but anyway, back to the topic. And so once life has put you through a struggle, once you come out of that struggle and you're whole again, because going through struggle you feel separated, you feel broken, and that's why people refer to that as gather your pieces together, okay? And the pieces do not go back the way they were before, because you are broken, so you could be remolded again. But during that breaking, you need to maintain a survivor's attitude, an attitude of learning, an attitude of wanting to move past this. And if you go through such a situation and you come out whole and you're actually willing to talk about it, now that's what I call a real hero. For me, because hey, I'm looking for you, I want to learn your story. Tell me about what it is that you're going through. I am trying to learn. But because we're human beings and shame comes naturally. Remember, it started way back, Adam, Eve, the apple. So whenever one goes through a struggle, unless the outcome was good, nobody really wants to talk about it. People just keep quiet, and if you talk about it, it's like you're breaking a taboo. Nobody wants to admit that they've been raped. Nobody wants to admit that their childhood was traumatic, or that their parents fought all the time. Nobody wants to admit that they're in an abusive relationship, because our culture has made it so that we just make them feel ashamed. We make memes out of them, we make jokes out of them. But I'll tell you this, we have all survived our lives. And when you feel like you're not ready to talk about it, you don't have to talk about it. You go through life at your own pace, and nobody should make you feel ashamed or embarrassed or less human because of the choices you're making in your life. Shame is a painful emotion brought about by the consciousness of guilt. But we have to stop and ask ourselves, how can you really feel guilty for being human? Going through a situation is simply that, going through a situation. Situations come branded in different packages. Many people can steer you towards such situations. It could be a bad boss, an in-law that doesn't like you, an ex-boyfriend. But for society to make us feel guilty for having undergone what I would call a normal human experience, I think that's not right. I think that was one of the first things that left my system. I am not ashamed. I am not ashamed. I will not be ashamed. I don't think I welcome it. If it's human, then it's human, and I was made that way for a reason, so I accept myself. I chose these situations for myself, and so I'll go through them the best way I know how. Self-discipline is not about kujitesa. If you're looking at it that way, then you're definitely looking at it wrong. So self-discipline is a way of achieving your goals, and you don't have to stress yourself to achieve your goals. If you have to stress yourself, then maybe ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? It should feel natural to you. It should feel normal to you. Many people lack in life because they are unable to maintain self-discipline. So an example, if your goal is to lose weight, remember 80% of the results is brought about by 20% of the efforts that you put in. Start replacing old behaviors with new behaviors. So for an example, I used to really be addicted to drinking juice. My fridge was always filled with juice. But then if you were to read the label, it's not made with the best of ingredients. And so my first step was to replace my juice with a healthier drink. So what I started doing was going to the shops, buying fruits, blending them together, adding some yogurt, and putting in the fridge. And whenever I'd feel that urge, like, oh, I just want juice, I'd go to the fridge, and sure enough, there was no juice, but there was a smoothie. So then I started replacing it, and I started making sure I never lack a smoothie in the fridge, to the point that I stopped craving juice and started craving smoothies. So now when I'm in the house and there's juice, I actually go out of my way to make a smoothie because that's what I have come to accept as nutritious for me. 3, do not do things that clash with your goals. Okay, so this would have been me in America when I decided, okay, I want to move back to Kenya. I want to relocate. I don't want to spend any more money. I want to just save up and move back to Kenya. But then I would go to the mall, window shopping. The act of going to the mall was clashing with my goals of saving money. Because if I came across something that I like, then I'd feel so bad that I can't have it, to the point that I would give in and buy it and then come home and have buyer's remorse. So stop clashing with your goals. In Kenya, thank God, whenever I feel like I need exercise, I don't have to go to the mall for window shopping. I can simply walk outside because it's not snowing. 4, monitor yourself. Figure a way to monitor yourself. Some people keep food journals, some people keep budget journals, some people keep emotional journals. So if you were to create a food journal and you write everything that you ate and how many calories it was, and then at the bottom you can see how much calories you consumed, and then the next day you're going to the gym and you can see how long it takes to burn the calories that you just consumed, then trust me, honey, at that point it will click. Nobody will have to tell you. You'll have to either quit the gym or quit the food. But you cannot continue to self-sabotage once you have a food journal. 5, reduce time spent on social media. Time spent on social media means you are in absorbing state. You're just sitting there absorbing what someone else has done, having it sink into your system, commenting on it, reading all the comments, going to the next, and you just scroll. But you need to create time for you to download what's in your mind into this world, rather than you taking what is in this world and putting it in your mind. That makes a huge difference. And creating time for yourself to figure out what's going on here, bring it into the world in the form of a journal, because that could be the next hit song, that could be the next best poem, that could be the next best recipe, because it has your uniqueness wrapped around it. Give out more unique and stop taking in so much crap. On a personal level, my weight loss journey was motivated by the fact that I realized that my spirit was very wild, wanted to do so much in this world, but my body was not able to keep up with it. So that was enough motivation for me to drop over 50 pounds. So the answer you give yourself as to why you're doing this needs to really fire you up. If it doesn't fire you up, no amount of self-discipline can. And that's where you're told, don't do things because others are doing it. Let it have a personal meaning for you. And if it doesn't, wait until it does. Do you know how many times I went on a weight loss journey because my sisters were doing it? Because my co-workers were doing it? Because my husband was doing it? Nothing happened. It wasn't until it meant something personal to me that it happened. 7, motivate yourself. Take care of that inner child, that inner boy, that inner girl. You know what you like. Motivate yourself with it. And you can still spoil her or him according to your budget. And I remember that for every 5 pounds I lost, I would get myself a nice crystal. And that motivated me to keep my self-discipline up, because I really wanted to get that crystal. It is also important for you to control your emotions and your urges. Not once, not twice. I wake up in the morning and I know what I need to do. I have a morning routine. But sometimes I feel that feeling of, oh, I really don't want to do it. I want to sleep a little bit more. And I've had to remind myself, I am more than my feelings. Feelings do not rule my life. I am self-disciplined. And that always gets me going. Resist instant gratification. It feels good in the moment, but in the long run, it's gonna cost you way much more. And this goes for anything and everything in life. I used to really love ice cream, and I remember once we drove to the neighboring state to buy ice cream because the state we were in was in a lockdown. But it had to get to a point where I had to tell myself, Fidelis, caramel ice cream tastes so good, but it would taste better at a beach wearing a bikini. It's worth the wait.